In this video, we'll be describing a barrel racing competition where we have an open event, a senior event, and a junior event. All the events will use a to-go format. The open event will have 4 Ds, the senior event will have 3 Ds, and the junior event will have 3 Ds, and we'll also allow carryover times from the open to the other events. So this example is used to show how settings from event to event in the same competition do not have to be the same. It's a fairly complex example. In our example, 50% of the prize purse will be allocated to Go 1 and 50% will be allocated to Go 2. We will not have an average. In the open, prizes will be paid out in a 4D split, D1, D2, D3, D4, each receiving 25% of the prize purse allocated to that go. The Ds will use a 1-second time differential. Competitors will be allowed to enter this event 2 times. In the senior and junior events, prizes will be paid out in a 3D split, with 1/3 of the purse for each go split to the Ds respectively. The Ds will be determined by a 1.5 second time differential for junior and a 1.3 second time differential for senior. Competitors will be allowed to enter the senior event 2 times, and competitors will be allowed to enter the junior event 3 times. In this example, we are allowing carryover score from the open to either the senior or the junior event. Note that because we're allowing competitors to carry over their scores from open to both junior and senior, all 3 events need to have the same number of goes, but they do not need to have the same number of Ds. Because we have a different combination of settings for each event, we will need to add each event separately to the competition. So once we have set up the details, including competition dates, we will tap on events and we will begin with the open event. So we'll tap add events, we'll tap add round, we'll simply name this one open, and then we'll set the number of goes. As we mentioned, this will be 2, and we will do a draw order of random and reverse and tap OK. And the open event, we will enable the Ds, and we are having 4 Ds. In the open event, a 1-second time differential and 25% allocated to each D. We'll tell this OK, and then we'll set our payout allocations per go to be 50% for Go 1 and 50% to Go 2. And now we have our goes and Ds and payout allocation set. We will tap OK. And again, this was for the open, so we need to specify that this is the Jackpot Barrel Racing Open, and we're going to allow 2 entries per competitor in this event. Now we will save this event, and then we will set up the junior event. So we will go to add events, we will tap add round, we will call this junior, we will specify 2 goes again, so we will add 1, and we will go random and save in this event just to set something different. And we said that we would have a 3D format here where we will be dividing the money between each D relatively equally here, and this will be based on a 1.5 second time differential. So we will set our 1.5 and our percentage here, and we'll tell this OK. So we've now set up the Ds, and we now set the payout allocations, and again we are paying this per go. So Go 1 at 50% and Go 2 at 50%, and now we have our goes, our Ds, and our payout allocations set. We will tell this OK, and then we will indicate that this was for the junior event, and we're going to allow 3 entries in the junior event. Now we will save this, and next we will add the senior event, add round, and we'll call this senior. This as well had 2 goes. We will set to random, and we'll set to both of them to be random actually, so that we have 3 different draw order configurations. And we had 2 goes, and we were doing a 3D, so we'll enable the Ds, and we're going 3 Ds and a 1.3 time differential. And then when we have those set, we will tap OK and set our payout allocations as 50% to each go, so using per go. And when we have our goes and Ds and payout allocation set, we'll tell this OK. We were allowing 2 entries, and again we would now select the event for these settings. This was for the senior. We tap save, and now we have our open, our junior, and our senior events added to this competition and their configuration set. And we were allowing our competitors to carry their scores from the open to the other events. So we will specify that the open, Jackpot Barrel Racing, is the open event, and that will allow the carry from. When we have our events set, now we will need to go and set the performance schedules. So we tap on the performance tab, and so we will add a performance, and we will name this Go 1, and we will set this to be a 1 p.m. start time. And initially you will see both Group 1 and Group 2, Group 1 and Group 2, and Group 1 and Group 2 for each event. That is okay because we will move them in our next step. So now we have all of our events in the first performance. We will now add another performance and move the Group 2 into that performance. And set our start date to be on the Sunday, also at 1 p.m. And then we will select the groups, Group 2, from each of the 3 events to move to our performance schedule on Sunday. And then we will tell it to save this schedule. And now we have Saturday Go 1 with all 3 of our events in Group 1, and Saturday Go 2 with all 3 of our events. And we now have our performance schedule set up. So we can tap save to save and exit this competition editor, or tap any of the tabs on the top here if we wish to make additional changes within this competition.